Hi, this is Mr. H bringing you some help with 2-7 homework using function notation. So I want to remind you that the math you're actually doing in these problems is very simple. The hard part is doing some Google translating, so to speak. Like you're not sure what this means, what this says, until you translate it into the simple arithmetic math, okay? It's written in a different language, and that language is called function notation. So I'm going to try to color code a few things and help you guys out, so this is as straightforward as possible. So the first thing that we learned in class is that we don't just say, well, first of all, I'll back up and say everything that we're doing has to do with ordered pairs. We have our x number, our y number. Function notation doesn't refer to them that way. It refers to it in this language of function notation. So I refer to a y number by saying something like f of x equals 3. That's the function notation way of saying y equals 3. So if you see something like f of x, or g of x, or h of x, etc., and there's a letter here, not a number, then this number over here is the y. You're saying y equals 3. And I encourage you, if you see that, to go ahead and write a big y right on top of that, just so you can get it in your head immediately. That's just a y equals 3. Now, the other version of it, though, is when you have something like f of 3 equals, or they're referring to something as f of 3. In this situation, the 3 is in the parentheses in the position of x. So this is the function notation way of saying the x is 3. So that's the most important thing to understand before you do anything else. If it's given to you in that way, f of x, or g of x, or w of x, or whatever, it just means the y is that number. But if it gives you f and then it has a number in the parenthesis, it's giving you an x value. Okay? So just really rehearse that and practice that. And we're going to go into that on this paper. And I'll tell you right now, everything on this paper, most everything is referring to x values, input values. Okay? We'll be doing more of these in the near future. But for now, we're dealing with different input values, and we're dealing with two different equations at once. So I said in class, your alphabet soup is getting thrown out into these problems. So all you need to do is keep track of what function goes with what equation. So for number one, we have, I'll call the purple equation and the green equation. The purple equation is f. The green equation is g. All right? So when we look at this stuff, this is a super easy math problem, but it's written in this other language that we have to translate. So when I look at this f of 3, I see that it goes with the f equation. They both have f. So this is a purple one that is assigned to that equation. The other one, the g of 4, is a green one. It goes with the green equation. All right? So let's go ahead and finish this off. Now, along with what I said just a minute ago, if the number is in the parenthesis, that is an x value. It's an input. So there's a purple x that's going to go into this place in the purple equation. And here's a green x that's going to go into this place in the green equation. That's all you do. That's doing the Google Translate, so to speak, for this. Let's see what happens. I plug in this 3 right here, and it's easy. I get 2 times 3. That's 6. So I'm answering the question, what is f of 3? When I plug that in, it's 6. All right? It is 6. So I get 6 right here. Okay, and then what is g of 4? That 4 is an x value. I plug it in right here. 4 squared, that's 4 times 4, 16 plus 1, 17. So that's my green number. Okay, add them together because that's all it says to do. 16 plus 17 gives me 23. And that is it. So that's what I meant when I say the math that we're dealing with is super easy, but we had to translate it to our language. Let's do number 3. This one is a function inside a function. Okay? We have the green g function on the outside. All right? I'm gonna rewrite it color-coded. We have g and then parentheses. But on the inside, we have an f equation, an f function, f of 3. When you do these, you have to start from the inside and work your way out. So what I have to do is figure out what f of 3 is. I can't do anything with the g function until I take care of this guy. Okay, so once again, that's in the position of an x, an input. So that's telling me this 3 goes right here in this equation, this function. Again, 2 times 3 is 6. So the value of this is 6. All right? So I'm done with this f equation, this f function. I'm done. I figured out the value of it just by plugging that in. It is 6. All right? So I don't need to write this f thing anymore. I figured out that is actually g of 6. And that's the answer to that one, right? But now that I know that the answer to this was 6, it's in the place of the g function. Now I'm looking for g of 6. So it's like a riddle inside a riddle. So what is g of 6? That 6 is a green x now. I plug it in right here. 6 times itself is 36 plus 1 gives me 37. That's how you do it. All right, let's do number 5. I'm going to refer back to these. I want to kind of stay zoomed in so you can see as closely as possible, but I also want you to see these. So, f of 2 plus 3 times g of 4. F of 2 is my purple one. G of 4 is my green one. It goes with the green one. That 3 is neither. It's just a number that's thrown in there doing some math. So we don't even touch that right now. I got to figure out what that guy is, translate him right here, figure out what that guy is, translate him right here, and then do all the math. So f of 2, that is another x. That's an x that goes right here. 2 times 2 is 4. So the answer to this one, I translated it, and now it's basically just 4. Okay? Let's do g of 4. That's another x. It's a green one this time. It goes into the green equation because it's the letter g, the function g. 4 goes in right here. 4 squared is 16 plus 1 is 17. There we go. That's the easy part here, the easy part here. Let's rewrite the rest of the equation. It's 4 plus 3 times 17. That's it. So you could do that on your calculator or however you want to do it. What would be 3 times 17? That's 10, 20, 30. And then 7, 14, 21. That's 51. Plus 4 is 55.